chosen ones, empaths, and all the genuine souls out there. I had a session with someone quite a while ago now, but it's one that stood out to me, and I thought, because they told me I can share their experience with you, I thought I would touch on it now from the best that I can remember from their story. But this individual, they fell in with someone which they later realized was a narcissist, but it was really their first serious relationship, should you say. They fell in with this individual and everything seemed perfect, which a lot of you can probably extract and draw parallels from. Everything can seem perfect in the beginning, you see. But it was very this is another one which is similar to another one that I mentioned in the series. It was very volatile, the relationship. It was very volatile with this individual and the narcissist. Like arguments, but a lot of that which we discussed in the session, you can understand that a lot of these arguments that you do actually have, even you, just same as this individual, a lot of it is gaslighting. The narcissist will use a lot of gaslighting techniques, which we pointed out in the session about this individual, because there were things that this individual felt bad about, or felt wrong about, or wrong for doing. But upon discussion, we kind of come to the conclusion that a lot of these things that they thought they'd done wrong were actually gaslighting from the narcissist and reactive abuse and things of that nature. But they were with them for a significantly long period of time, you know, some years. But to jump to the main, why I brung this story up and what I want to give you insight of is the individual caught the narcissist out about a lie. Okay, they caught the narcissist out about the lie, and they said they saw that world begin to it's like it hurt very much. They're describing the awakening. You see, it hurt very much. It was very shocking for them to find out that someone had lied, and it wasn't a lie about cheating or anything like that. It was just a lie. But this individual that I spoke to was had very strong principles and morals, and the narcissist had claimed that they had strong principles and morals about lying, about truth, and this individual thought they'd met the perfect person of what they seemed to be. But many of you who have had other relationships will know you can try and empathize with this individual despite going through the volatileness of the relationship. This is why I kept pointing out to them, when it's your first serious relationship, you're kind of plugged into it, and it being a narcissist, so you can only empathize with them to understand how difficult that must have been. But they caught them out about a lie. They caught the narcissist out about a lie, and this is what narcissists do. The narcissist began to move the goalposts, began to deflect blame, starting arguments, moving the goalposts, talking about different things, not about the actual lie, completely going missing in action. So they were communicating by phone and text, but when this individual went back to the narcissist's house to try and collect belongings, or their house, tried to collect belongings, the narcissist wouldn't let them in and things like that. So it just that what this individual said as well was, every time they went to visit their family, the narcissist would start an argument. So they thought it was just another one of those times where they hadn't caught the narcissist out about lying before, But normally when they got into an argument, they would go running back to the narcissist and start arguing with them. But this time, when they found out about a lie, this was the first time they were right. You see, because what narcissists will do in relationships with you as well is they will always make you out to be wrong. And this is how this individual was constantly saying sorry, constantly apologizing. And this is what you may have happened with a narcissist in your life. You may have been kept constantly apologizing, feeling at fault, feeling like you're to blame. Anyway, this individual had actually cared for, supported and cared for this narcissist while the narcissist was in a very bad situation. That's all I'll say. The narcissist was in a very bad situation upon their meeting, and this is what formed the connection. What we realized through the session. This is what formed the connection with them and the narcissist, because the narcissist was in a bad way, and this was the individual was an unawakened empath, unawakened caring individual. It's not that they pitied them or felt bad for them. It's just the savior empath streak kicks in with all of you, and you begin to fix things in people's lives, and you begin to fix. And this is what this individual done with the narcissist. Began to fix their life. There's another story actually. It's similar. So I'm going off topic, but there was another individual, because this individual cared for 2 children of the narcissist. Helped with 2 children. And it reminds me of another story of an individual, and I'm going to touch on this now. I've had a couple of people that have gone, well, more than a couple, but these 2 stories were similar because both these individuals, upon the breakups, they went very into a dark place. And this individual that I'm talking about as well just reminded me of another session I had with someone. They also cared for a narcissist with 2 children. And both of these individuals, the empaths, the chosen ones, the genuine souls, went through what we call, suicidal ideations. Okay. And what this narcissist had said to one of them, the one that this series is about, the one I was dedicating it to, the narcissist said to them in one of the messages, which they didn't understand what they meant, was don't do anything stupid. They didn't know what it meant. And the narcissist was denying speaking to them. It got to the point where the narcissist sent all of the clothes and changed their number and left the empath completely confused, when it was just the empath catching them over a lie. And they began to get suicidal ideations, and they went through the dark night of the soul. And that's what I want you to watch out for. If you get any suicidal ideations, suicidal thoughts, you have to understand and start to dig deeper. And I actually spoke to this individual after the experience had happened. Okay, so they'd come a long way in their journey before they'd even spoke to me. Okay, or before they'd even discovered the content. So they've done a lot of the healing themselves, really. So I just had some of my drink. And it's not that I heal you, you do it as you, it's your ability, but I'm saying it wasn't the session or anything like that. This individual just wanted to touch base and have a session with me because they realized that the video resonated with their situation. But they went through the dark night of the soul, and this is what's similar to both the stories that I had with some people. The individual that this series is about, they had suicidal ideations, thoughts about harming themselves and stuff, and what they realize is it's not going to succeed. Okay, it's like they heard their consciousness or spirit kind of say to them, no, like intervene in the midst of the darkness. And this is similar to what happened to another individual I spoke to, who actually went through with basically trying to carry out, harming themselves, and something occurred to them. They had an epiphany. They had a realization that this was not right, and this can be called the dark night of the soul. So you can go through some real, and I've heard this is very common with people I've spoke to. Many of them have gone through the dark night of the soul, where you're pushed to suicide, or tempting, and or even just having the thoughts. And as you see with this individual who this episode of this series is about, they all it was they caught they exposed the narcissist, and the narcissist escalated the situation, distracted them from what the real reason was about, changed their phone number, abandoned them, ghosted them, put them through this, all right, and it forced this individual to feel completely lost. But then something took over, and God intervened, or the universe intervened, you see. And this individual, well, actually, both individuals that this dark night of the soul thing happened with, the suicidal ideations and stuff, they both went on to become extremely, extremely successful in their own fields. And I won't touch on what their own fields are, but they become really successful, and they're actually helping others as well. Okay, they went on to, like, they're helping others. They're in their own field of work, and they're like it's something they didn't think they would be doing as well, right? And they went on to go and do really. They went on to go and succeed, and basically what's similar in their stories is, after a significantly long period of time, okay, the narcissist in both their stories tried to pose as clients or customers or whatever to their business, and try and talk to them. And this was both of their stories. It was significant. I can't remember the exact number that it was in both their stories, but it was years. Okay, it was years. They hadn't spoke to the narcissist. They were going on in their own journeys. They gone on with their own lives. They come a long way. They saw how that this dark night of the soul was their pathway to light, and then the narcissist that was involved in their lives tried to pose as a client or a customer and try and get in contact with them through messages or email. I'm not sure which one it was. Tried to get in contact with them. I think it was email. Tried to get in contact with them, or their business. I'm not sure if it was their business. Sometimes businesses have those live chat things and things like that. I'm not sure how they were talking to them, but the narcissist tried to communicate with them, and then exposed it, and then kind of gave some indication that it was the narcissist, you see. And what I'm saying is to you is that is what, like, none of you are rejects. That's what they learned to understand. Both of these individuals, they wasn't rejected. Okay, well, the main one that I was talking about in this episode, they wasn't rejected. Neither of them were rejected. But I'm saying, like, how can I put it? They went through the darkness. They wasn't rejected. They went through the darkness. They caught the narcissist out. Okay, the narcissist had been caught out. This individual caught the narcissist out about a lie. The narcissist will escalate the situation, which is what they've done in many of your situations. They'll escalate, they'll ghost, they'll abandon, they'll do this stuff. And I'm telling you, none of them was waiting for they didn't think they'll hear from the narcissist again. But it turns out they did. And both of these individuals did not like that the narcissist had contacted them after a long period of time. It brought back old feelings. Not old feelings of love, but it brought back old feelings of like disgust, right? That's what they said in their own words. It brought back feelings of disgust and they didn't actually want to hear from the narcissist. So that's why I will say to all of you that are in a place that you may have been abandoned, or you may have been ghosted, or the narcissist has escalated the situation, and you think that all you want to do is hear from them, then just like these testimonies from both these survivors of narcissistic abuse that I'm sharing with you today, they both heard back from the narcissist, and they were so, successful in their own field and their own right. They didn't want to have any attachment to that narcissist. They felt very, ill that the narcissist was trying to contact them in some way, shape, or form. Trying to gaslight them from a distance or whatever. So, just like what you can see is sometimes these thoughts, these suicidal ideations, they're coming from a place that's not you. Sometimes your mind gets weird thoughts, random thoughts. Like, it's just the human mind, they don't really understand. All right. So what I would just try to say is, I know sometimes you might feel in the depths of despair. But what I always encourage for people that are going through suicidal ideations, and I know you might not feel to do it, but especially if it's during the day, you feel so stressed or depressed or suicidal ideations, try and go out for a walk, right? If it's during the day, and someone said to me as well when I gave them this advice, they said, yeah, maybe you should try and say get to the next hour. If you're thinking of something like this, try and reach out for help. Don't worry about people judging you or whatever like that. Reach out for help, speak to a friend, go for a walk. If it's at night, just realize that sometimes you get intrusive thoughts, or these sorts of thoughts, and it's not really you. They pass. These thoughts pass. If you make it to the next day or the next hour, then you'll feel shifted. You might have had a coffee by then. You might have had some breakfast by then. I don't know what you would have done. You might have smoked a cigarette by then. Whatever, right? Like, you go in and you distract yourself. Like, other things will happen in your day. If you go on a walk, you'll go out, you'll see trees, you'll see buildings, you'll see people, you'll see this. And even if you're alone, it doesn't matter. You'll go out and you'll distract your mind. And when you come back, you'll feel in a much better place. All right. So walking does help. And, I know walking can be a struggle, especially if I'm meaning to walk myself a bit more than I am at the moment. I'm meaning to get out and walk a bit more. But it's something that I need to do. But I would encourage it, because when I do walk, even me now, like, I walk just for it kind of sets off endorphins and things like that, and these sorts of neurological chemicals really help if you're in these dark places like suicidal ideations, depression, things like that. And I just want you to understand that it's not going to last forever, and that's why I'm saying both of these individuals who I spoke to put their energy into helping others, into channeling into their own fields, right? Both in their own right, slightly different things what they wanted to do, but they both went on to try and help others and channel their energy into that. And it's something you can do as well. Okay. You can go on to do something meaningful and impactful, right? So just think about what I said. Understand that, these dark days won't last forever, it is a process. Both of them went through the dark night of the soul. I'm calling it the dark night of the soul, but I'm not that, it's coming to a realization. That's the way I'd put it. I should have said this earlier, but it's coming to a realization that that's the wrong route. Staying in the dark place, staying in the darkness is not the right route, and you kind of have an epiphany in it, and you battle through it. But you may have gone through one of the darkest nights of your life, from this situation. So anyway, I hope these two stories of these two survivors helped. I wasn't planning to touch on the other survivor, but it just reminded me mid video, so I just touched on their account as well. So I hope everyone's enjoying this kind of this idea I had to share people's stories that have told me in one-to-one sessions that I can share it. So anyway, thanks for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. You may donate or support to the channel if you want to. Check out the spiritual channel for more content. My podcast is now on Spotify. All links you need are in the description box below. If you would like access to over 100 exclusive videos, daily uploads and custom video requests, join my membership program at zionmembership.com. Links also in the description box below. There's a 3-day free trial and you can cancel at any time. All content is made by me with no ties to any organisation or university. Your support truly keeps us going. I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.